Well, it's harder to get into housing now than it has been in the past 20 years. Repossessions by banks are on the rise and renters are finding it harder than ever to find accommodation they can afford. But now there are bold new schemes designed to ease the housing affordability crisis. Linda Kincaid reports they are for buyers and renters and will save both a fortune.
Locked out of the market.
Young mum Belinda Bonello is the face of Australia's housing crisis, shut out of the market.
It's very, very difficult. I applied for so many different private rentals.
Low vacancies, high rental prices and mortgage stress has created a situation so critical it's now one of the nation's biggest social problems.
I was very scared. I couldn't basically afford private rental, and it got obviously a lot worse once I had my son.
Like tens of thousands before, Belinda and her two children aged under 2 had fallen through the cracks. The only immediate option, crisis accommodation.
The smell of cigarette was quite overwhelming, and spiders inside the bed linen. Also, I noticed a little bit of blood on the ceiling.
In 1964, homelessness was only affected men. Nowadays, more than a third of our clients are children.
Government accommodation centre Hanover is now resorting to cheap motels to plug the gaps for those stranded on the public housing waiting list. Chief Executive Tony Keenan.
If it's a choice between the street and a motel, definitely we'll go for the motel.
2-star motels like this are commonly used as a last resort. They're small, cramped and an expensive option for a week-long stay at around $140 a night. Motels in the Melbourne suburbs of Coburg, Chadstone and St Kilda are frequently used. In Sydney, it's the western suburbs, while in Brisbane it's Kangaroo Point, Logan and Caboolture. Belinda had moved from one motel to the next until Hanover found her a home.
It's terrible that a lot of women, not only myself, have been put in this situation.
Across Australia, welfare groups say the waiting list for public housing is growing. In New South Wales, over 43,000 households are waiting for a house. The other states are not far behind.
It'd be great for the little ones.
Yeah, it's a great size as well.
But there are new schemes and solutions giving hope for those who can't afford private rentals. Former Melbourne real estate agent Belinda McCullum, who once spent her days evicting tenants, now has a solution.
After 10 years in real estate, I was looking at just evening up my social conscience a little bit.
She joined forces with St Vincent de Paul and HomeGround to create a program known as Housing Options. The new service, where you'll never pay more than 30% of your income in rent.
We lease the properties directly from the landlords and the agents, and then we sublease them to the clients, and then we obviously pay the difference.
It costs the organisations around $15,000 to cover the gap for a family home for 12 months. Grandmother Angela Chin and her family escaped the housing crisis thanks to this program.
So, what do you think?
I like it. It's lots of space. It's really safe with the gates at the front.
HomeGround Chief Executive Stephen Nash says Belinda's idea has really taken off, but more needs to be done.
In the United States, they've figured out that it makes financial sense to end homelessness.
For those who want to buy into the property market but can't quite afford to on their own, this could be the solution for you.
A lot of my friends rent and they find they are a little bit trapped in that rental market as well.
Home Addressed can help you buy a property in a co-op arrangement with 1 or 2 other people, and in doing so slash hundreds of thousands of dollars off the price of a new property. Christina Ward created the scheme with a group of friends.
One of the best benefits of co-buying is being able to start on the property ladder sooner.
23-year-old self-employed graphic designer Holly McLaren is confident that this is the best option for her future.
You know, a mortgage together is a mortgage halved.
As the housing crisis reaches boiling point, schemes like this are expected to grow.
A lot of people who thought that it might have been not achievable can realistically look at owning their own place now.